welcome back. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit notifications so you can stay up to date on all of our reviews of all things entertaining. My name is Steve Matonti.
My name's Ian Phillips.
Next up, we have Suicide Squad, and that came out in 2016. Whew. Here I go. I'm going to have to say that this was by far the worst movie that the DCEU has come out with so far. This movie was all over the place. The tempo, the tone. What is this movie about? There was no villain. The
villain should have been the Joker. Let's be real here. The villain should have been the Joker.
What was that with the brother? You don't even know who the brother is. He's just this big, angry whatever, and he was like,
I gotta be honest. It honestly seemed like they shot the majority of the movie, and we got something completely different. I think there was probably a lot of studio interference.
It was corny. It wasn't funny when it was supposed to be funny. They did not use Will Smith in the way that they could. Will Smith wasn't even a villain in this movie in any way, shape, or form. They didn't show that he had ever even done anything wrong, besides the fact that he was still killing bad people. He was more of a Punisher character in this movie than anything else, but less so because he wasn't even angry.
Yeah.
He was doing it just to make money for his family. Yeah. Insane. They didn't even use the characters that they had. They didn't use the fire guy.
Diablo.
Diablo. They didn't use him in any way. He also seemingly was this amazing character as well, in that he didn't want to do wrong. He didn't even want to leave his thing. Ridiculous.
That was like the quintessential. He felt cursed. The gifts that he was given were like a curse to him.
It was another hole in the sky, taking over the world. Where is Wonder Woman? Where is Batman? Where is Superman during all of this? Just insane. I think Superman was dead at that point.
Let's go back to the comic book aspect of this, though. You got to remember, the whole aspect of the Suicide Squad is when the government needs a job done that's a little too shades of gray for the heroes to do. This was a world-ending type of event. There should have been no reason the heroes couldn't have handled what was going on within Enchantress.
And then, of course, you another had a completely ambiguous rock zombie army that they had to fight, and probably the best part of the entire movie was when Will Smith just shooting up everything, then looks at whatever that colonel, major, lieutenant was. And that was the best part.
It was Rick Flag, I think, was the...
I just thought that was funny.
That's how I cut and run.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I thought that was awesome.
And again, the whole purpose of the Suicide Squad is straight up Black Ops missions. Has nothing to do with the danger element, because there's no reason the heroes can't step in a dangerous situation. That's what the heroes do. That's what makes them heroes. The Suicide Squad was for Black Ops. Listen, if you guys get caught, you're burned. We're not sending the heroes in because we can't afford for the heroes to get burned. You are going in because we're going to make you with the bombs in the neck. Now, that was actually comic book accurate. I actually really liked the bomb in the neck thing.
Oh, yeah,
actually
yeah.
showing it when they killed What's-His-Face, Slipknot, when he tried to escape.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, this was not a Suicide Squad mission.
Katana! Oh, what a... part of the cornballness. What was it? She has dead souls in her sword. That's great if you actually establish that as far as what the hell it even means and who she is. Why was she even in it? I give that a 3 out of 10. It gets the 3 only because they actually did finish the movie and actually released it, but that's about as far as I can give it.
I'll give them a 1 because I feel like I shouldn't give anything to 0. We'll go with that. All right, next we're going to be going into Wonder Woman, which came out in 2017, starring Gal Gadot, directed by Patty Jenkins. And I gotta say, this was one where I was really, really, really not sure kind of what to think about it, because I thought having established everything that you'd established up to that point, bringing Wonder Woman in already, and then going back and doing a World War I based origin movie, not the way it should have gone. I didn't agree with that, and I was actually pleasantly surprised for the most part.
I was going to disagree with you on saying they avoid, and what I heard too is that the reason why they decided to do World War I, even though in the comics it was World War II, is that with Captain America having already been a part of World War II, I thought that was ingenious for them to bring in World War I.
Well, now, I'm not necessarily upset that they went back to, like, as far as World War I versus World War II, this isn't a comic book accuracy-based thing. I just think going back and doing an origin story after you've already introduced the character, I thought that was a bad idea.
I thought that was good because not everyone understands the origin story of what it means to be an Amazonian and the fact that she was, part god. So I think it helped establish that. I actually would have enjoyed even another 10 or 15 minutes of that growing up process of being as an Amazonian and living with the people that she was living with. Starting with that, going right into some of the issues with that, is that just the concept of her mother not wanting her to fight when she already knew that Ares was coming to fight her, and therefore it's not until she's a teenager do they finally approve her to be able to be fighting. And you're like, well, you lost 10 years of what? Why would you not want her to fight when she's the only...
That was another thing that I kind of got a little unsure, because when they finally revealed later on in the movie that she was actually the God Killer weapon, so Hippolyta and Zeus came together to create the God Killer, which as we now know is Wonder Woman. And seemingly, almost immediately after they created her, she's like, yeah, I don't want to use her as the God Killer weapon anymore. And Zeus just is like, okay, do what you want.
No, Zeus is dead. Zeus is gone.
Is that? What
Well, Zeus doesn't exist.
Really?
That's why he created the God Killer, because he wouldn't be there if that happened.
I missed that part.
Zeus led the gods to our defense. Ares killed them, one by one, until only Zeus himself remained.
Zeus used the last of his power to stop Ares. Striking such a blow, the god of war was forced to retreat. But Zeus knew that one day Ares might return to finish his mission. An endless war, where mankind would finally destroy themselves, and us with them.
So Zeus left us a weapon, one powerful enough to kill a god.
With his dying breath, Zeus created this island to hide us from the outside world, somewhere Ares could not find us.
Okay, I stand corrected. Alright, I can roll with that. So, anyway, I can see now, okay, so the whole, I guess I don't want to use her as the God Killer, makes a little bit more sense, because if Ares was strong enough to kill Zeus, then this child now that she loves, I guess she has a little bit more sentimental value to not wanting to see her get killed.
I thought that Chris Pine did a really great job. I thought it created a sort of a funny, humorous tone, which is not something that we had gotten up to this point. It's something that I think they have been missing, is having that good humor in there, but well placed. So the humor in Wonder Woman did not seem like it was making the tone or the pace of the movie be off. It was well placed.
You got to have a little bit of campiness, and that's one thing where if we were to reference Marvel again, that's one thing that they do really, really well in the vast majority of their movies, is they know when to be serious and they know when it needs to be a little campy.
And they know how to work it in together, which up until Wonder Woman, I think that's the reason why Wonder Woman gets such praise, is because when you've had it compared to the other three movies that they came out with, it was much better. Yeah. Do I think it's given way too much praise? Absolutely. I do love the movie, but it has way too many problems in it from a storytelling aspect that, again, the villain being Ares, it was a very nice surprise to see that actually the military personnel, general, colonel, whatever he was, or even a secretary, ended up being the bad guy. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I did not like that fight at the end. There was no...
Yeah, I do say the fight was a little bit less than, like, I think it was a little over the top for what it needed to be.
You're also dealing in this sort of supernatural realm, and we have not been introduced into what that's supposed to mean yet.
Mm-hmm.
Superman was given a very scientific reason as to the reason why he has his powers, while not incredibly well explained, nor does it really even make any sense on how sun radiation gives people powers, but they did establish that is the reason why. They did not establish exactly where these gods get their power from. Is there origination source? Is there something sciencey behind it somewhere? So it was a little bit of confusing.
And
The
then,
emotion, I think, though, at the end, which I really, really loved,
Yeah.
that moment between Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, where you really did feel like she had cared about him, because they established that even from the beginning of the movie, so it wasn't out of nowhere, which I liked.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I think the two of them had really great chemistry together, and watching them actually do the whole kind of team up together thing throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it was I don't think the relationship was rushed. I think it was done actually really, really well. I think the pacing was good, the timing was good, and again the chemistry between the two actors was actually really, really, really done.
So if I had to give it a score, I would probably give Wonder Woman also an 8 out of 10, which is what I gave Man of Steel.
I'm gonna go with you as well. I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10.
They definitely do deserve the credit.
Yeah, I
And
do.
Patty Jenkins did a fantastic job, and I was really proud of them for what they were able to do.